Throughout history, humanity has always balanced progress with peril. Every great leap forward, from the agricultural revolution to the industrial age, has brought both prosperity and new risks. In the 21st century, we face an unprecedented convergence of science and technology. While these advances promise a future of abundance and possibility, they also carry the seeds of potential collapse. Today, scientists and futurists warn us that the very tools designed to improve our lives could also endanger them. Climate change, artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, and nuclear technology are all examples of double-edged swords. Used wisely, they can heal the planet, cure diseases, and connect civilizations. Used recklessly, they could push us toward global catastrophe. The fear of collapse is not just rooted in science fiction or conspiracy theories. It is backed by data, models, and history. Civilizations of the past, from the Mayans to the Roman Empire, fell not only due to external threats but because of internal weaknesses, overconsumption, environmental stress, and political instability. The question that haunts us today is whether modern humanity will repeat those same mistakes, only this time on a planetary scale. In this exploration, we will examine three major fronts where science and technology intersect with existential risk: the climate crisis, the rise of artificial intelligence, and the vulnerabilities of global systems. Each represents a prophecy of collapse that may still be avoided, but only if humanity chooses responsibility over recklessness. The climate crisis, Earth under siege. The most urgent and visible threat to humanity is climate change. For decades, scientists have warned that burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrialization are heating the planet at an alarming rate. Rising global temperatures are not just about hotter summers, they trigger a cascade of disasters. Melting ice caps raise sea levels, threatening to submerge coastal cities where hundreds of millions live. Extreme weather events, hurricanes, floods, droughts, and wildfires, are increasing in both frequency and intensity. Agricultural systems are collapsing in certain regions, sparking food shortages and mass migrations. Entire ecosystems, from coral reefs to rainforests, are on the brink of collapse. Perhaps the most frightening aspect of climate change is its potential to create a feedback loop. As ice melts, less sunlight is reflected back into space, accelerating warming. As permafrost thaws, methane, a potent greenhouse gas, is released into the atmosphere, further heating the Earth. Scientists warn that once certain tipping points are crossed, there may be no way to reverse the damage. The climate crisis is not a distant prophecy, it is happening now. Yet, despite decades of warnings, global action remains inconsistent. For some, this neglect feels like watching a slow-motion apocalypse unfold. The collapse may not come as a sudden event, but as a gradual decline, where each year feels slightly worse than the last until the world we once knew no longer exists. Artificial intelligence, the machine threat. While the climate crisis unfolds in slow motion, another potential collapse could arrive much faster: the rise of artificial intelligence. Once confined to science fiction, AI is now embedded in everyday life, from social media algorithms to self-driving cars. But as these systems grow more powerful, the risks multiply. One of the greatest fears among experts is the possibility of artificial general intelligence, AGI, machines that can outperform humans in nearly every intellectual task. If such systems are created without proper safeguards, they could act in ways that are unpredictable, uncontrollable, and catastrophic. Even before AGI, current AI technologies already pose dangers. They amplify misinformation, destabilize democracies, and concentrate power in the hands of a few corporations and governments. Automated weapons and surveillance systems could escalate conflicts and erode freedoms worldwide. The existential risk lies in the possibility that AI, optimized for efficiency rather than ethics, may prioritize goals misaligned with human survival. A poorly programmed system could make decisions that cause mass unemployment, economic collapse, or even the destruction of humanity, not out of malice, but indifference. In this sense, AI represents a modern prophecy of collapse, where our own creations turn against us. The challenge is not whether AI will advance, but whether humans will be wise enough to control it before it controls us. Fragile systems, the risk of global collapse. Modern civilization is interconnected like never before. Global trade, financial systems, communication networks, and supply chains link billions of people across the planet. While this interdependence has created prosperity, it has also created fragility. A single disruption in one part of the system can ripple worldwide. The COVID-19 pandemic revealed just how vulnerable our economies and societies are to sudden shocks. Shortages of medical supplies, food, and energy cascaded through supply chains, showing how quickly a globalized world can destabilize. Beyond pandemics, cyber attacks pose another grave threat. A coordinated attack on financial systems, power grids, or communication networks could paralyze entire nations. Similarly, reliance on nuclear energy and weapons creates the constant risk of accidents or intentional conflict. Scientists also warn of the possibility of systemic collapse, multiple crises, economic, environmental, and political, happening simultaneously, feeding into each other in ways we cannot fully predict. In such a scenario, collapse may not look like a single dramatic event, but rather the unraveling of the systems that hold civilization together. The idea of global collapse is terrifying because it feels both inevitable and preventable. Science and technology have given us the tools to predict our downfall, but they also offer the means to avoid it. Renewable energy, ethical AI development, and global cooperation could transform the path we are on. History shows us that collapse is not destiny, it is a possibility. The Roman Empire fell, but humanity survived. Entire civilizations disappeared, but others rose in their place. The difference today is that our civilization is global. If we fall, there may be no safe haven left. Prophecies of collapse serve as warnings, not sentences. They remind us that survival requires humility, foresight, and responsibility. The future is not written in stone. It is shaped by the decisions we make now. The question is no longer whether science and technology will change the world. They already have. The real question is whether we will allow them to destroy us or use them to build a future worth living in.